Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and the shadows will fall behind you. Walt Whitman. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 Heart to Heart Conversations with Mandy. Today, we are honored to have my beautiful sister, Shara Gabriel, who will be taking us through a little of her life's journey from childhood till now. You know, her faith, her career, her healing, and everything in between. So, welcome, Shara.
Thank you, Mandy. I feel very welcomed. Hi, I love Janine Massive.
And thank you for being here. So,
It's no problem.
just as an icebreaker, because we don't want to make it too stiff. um, fondest childhood memory.
Okay. Well, there are so many things about my childhood that really stood out to me. And from time to time, they come back to me. They come back to my memory. But one that I'll have to mention is going on GSAT trips with mom. So mommy works at the Ministry of Education, and she would be asked from time to time to invigilate, GSAT exams, and she would bring me with her, and she'd play the one CD for every trip every year over and over and over. And I know those songs word for word, but it was just the road trip and the vibe and just being with her for the whole day and, eating fried fish and bami at Barda and those things, at the end of the day. So.
Fun Till. We used to go to Fun Till as well.
Fun Till was
after the
also
invigilations.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that meant a lot to you.
Yes, it did.
For me, it was like summer days.
Yeah.
Watching Nickelodeon.
Oh my gosh, Peppa Pig, girl, Peppa Pig. Bun and cheese. Oh,
that sounds like a personal preference.
Wait,
but Nickelodeon, Disney, and just
Teen
eating bun and cheese. Teen Nick, eating bun and cheese.
And
Lasco
pink milk.
Yeah, Lasco strawberry milk.
Yeah, thank you, Auntie Susan. Oh my god,
like that's just our whole entire summer as a childhood.
Yeah,
but yes, we're gonna jump right into it. So we just want to know a little bit about Shara. Who are you? As in, like, what's your background? What's your what's your age? What do you like? What keeps you going? Stuff like that.
Okay, that's a very heavy question, but I'm going to try to keep it simple and pointed. I am fun-loving and free-spirited and spontaneous. I love meeting new people. I love ministry and singing. I love my church family. I love my family dearly. They mean so much to me. And I love to try new things, and just allow God to lead me to where He wants me to be. A lot of the plans I had for myself didn't materialize, but I can say that where I am now, I'm happy with it. And I'm seeing where, all these things are just to learn life lessons. So I didn't become the 5-star chef and open a diner's palace, Love to cook, by the way.
As you wanted.
Yeah, as I wanted to. Love to cook. So I wanted a 5-star restaurant with 5 different cuisines, guys. Love to draw as well. So I wanted an art gallery in it. It was supposed to be a thing. But God knows best. I don't know if that's somewhere down the line. It might come. But yeah, so that's who I am. Yeah, that's who I am. And I am a Christian. I am a Christian. I believe in God. God has saved me. He has kept me. And He's the reason I'm still standing in my right mind.
Love that.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Apparently, I'm 24 years of age.
I know y'all might be wondering, so I'm just gonna help you out.
Apparently, I'm 24.
24. But
oh my god.
So you mentioned that you're a Christian. We love to see it.
Yeah.
When did you start following the Lord?
I remember that I started. I decided to give my life to Christ when I was 9 years old, and got baptized in 2010. So it's been, what's that? It's been almost 15 years, because that was March 2010. So it's almost 15 years since walking with the Lord. And honestly, I know for a fact that if I was not walking with Christ, All right. Yeah. So I just want to thank God for His mercy and His keeping grace.
Amen.
Yeah.
15 years, that's a long time.
It's a long time.
So do you ever regret like giving your life to God from such a tender
Yeah,
age?
man. No, not at all. What does the scripture say? In the days of your youth,
Yes,
is when we
remember the
should
Lord.
remember the Lord.
In the days of
When
your
the evil days come, not because it's harder to commit to a life of faith the older you get. So I'm happy that God would have convicted me at that age. And it's not that anyone would have forced me or say, baptized. It wasn't like that. Right? The Lord just moved upon my heart. And I always went to church. My parents ensured that my sister and I always went to church from within the belly. So it was God's move upon my heart, seeing, and hearing testimonies for myself and deciding that I wanted to, become a Christian. Yeah.
Amen. Love that. So we're gonna take the people on a journey. So imagine that Shara is 0 right now. She's taking you from then till now. So we're gonna fast forward from basic school because
yeah, nothing really happened.
did you really understand life at that time?
No.
But what was life like in primary school for you?
All right. Primary school, I remember I was the only kid who wore my tie like a man as a girl. Right? I wore my tie up here, so. And
what's the name for those shirts? The color,
yeah, the color shirt like
one
how
that
men wear.
yeah,
Yeah, button up shirt.
Yeah,
but mom thought it was cool, and so did I. Honestly,
yeah.
Until I went to school and I saw that all the other girls just had the normal shirt, the female shirt, and the tie was down. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But mom thought it was cool and fashionable because she has an English kind of taste. But I was bullied for it. I was bullied a lot for it in grade 1. And it did kind of affect me, but not in any great degree, Spoke to the principal, mom spoke to the principal, and that ended. So it wasn't really like a big moment in my life. But yeah, so that was grade 1. Didn't really have many friends because of the same tie thing. Because, kids, little things are big things. But then I believed I started to grow into my personality in like grade 3. So then I started to really develop, likes, what I was into. I was really into music. I remember that we used to have music class and we used to learn to play the flute and all of that. And that is when I think I realized that I really, really love music.
Yeah.
And I was always singing at church, from a tender age, singing on the choir, children's choir, and so on. And then I started, my love for music continued. And it developed into singing on the praise team for the children, then the praise team for the teens, choir for the teens, praise team for young adults. We have that? Yeah. Yeah, like youth choir.
Yeah, youth
Sundays.
Sundays.
Right. and choir and so on. But it really did start in primary school, with music classes and so on. And also realizing that I love art, and I love to draw and create. I remember I had a little business, yes, in grade 6 where I would charge people to let me draw on their hands. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was making money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
That's why these talks are very important. Yeah. Big up all my customers. Thank you for helping me to afford ice cream after school and the Nutribun, although it was only $2. But yeah, so that's where I really came into the love for arts and singing and music, and where I started to develop friendships. And some of those friendships, oh my gosh, Torian, Melissa, Daniel, those friendships are still solid to this day. You understand? And I'm just really grateful for them. I'm sorry, I feel like that answer was kind of long for such a small question.
No, that's good. That's good. There's a lot to unpack there. So
yeah. Oh, sorry. But that's also where I developed this love for knowledge, or to know things, and just being good at what I did at school. So that's where I learned to be competitive in a healthy way. I was on the quiz team in grade 6. And, just those are the things I realized that I really do have a love for knowledge and learning more and being a part of, those kind of spaces. So, yeah.
So you did GSAT.
Yeah.
It makes me feel some type of way that When we grow up, we'll be telling our kids about
Oh my God.
resets, and they're gonna talk about pep.
Yeah.
If
Kind of like how we
there's
talk
not
about
something new by that
yeah.
time.
Kind of like how we hear mommy and daddy talk
Common
about
entrance.
what's his common entrance, you know.
Oh my
So we're kind of
gosh,
old
we're
guys.
growing up.
Yeah,
But
we're the new adults.
when you were leaving primary school, what did you want to be?
Oh wow, I wanted to be. What did I want to be when I was leaving primary school? I don't think I had a clear idea of what I wanted to be leaving primary school, but I know that I had a love, as I said, for arts, knowledge, and singing and music.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but I didn't know what I wanted to be.
you did the great GSAT,
I did.
grade 6 achievement test.
Yay!
And which school did you put on your?
Am I forgetting to that now?
Yeah. Which school did you want to go to?
Initially, I wanted to go to Bishop Gibson High School for Girls, but then I changed along the way. Can we just leave it there?
She changed along.
It wasn't
the
because of
way.
that. It wasn't because of that.
No, we're not there yet. You see, I'm taking you on a journey.
Oh Lord, this journey.
You're speeding.
I better sit back.
So you got your first choice, Bishop Gibson.
Yeah, I got my first choice.
And when did you decide, okay, I don't want to go to Bishops anymore?
Well, grade 6, let me just start by saying grade 6 is also where I realized that I have an appreciation for the opposite sex, right? So I just realized that I don't know if I want to spend 7 years around only females. Why don't we coexist? Right, as male and females. So I'm putting it that way. Right. So then I decided I want to go to Manchester High now.
Manchester High.
Yeah, a co-ed school for girls and boys.
Right. So you got the desire of your heart.
I did.
Started Manchester High School.
Yeah, immediately joined the choir because, as I said, I knew that my love for singing and music was solid, and I wanted to get a quick start, you know, on that.
So you started in 2011.
Excuse?
Started Mandeville Primary in 2020. Oh,
wow. She really does think I'm old.
She left Mandeville Primary in 2011.
No, I didn't.
When did you?
Just in so. The summer.
Oh, whoops. I guess I didn't really do my research.
It's okay. It's okay.
Left Mandeville Primary in 2012.
Yeah.
Started Manchester High School in
September 2012.
September 2012. And what was that journey like for you? So for a
wow.
Context, you know, Manchester High School is a secondary institution in Manchester.
Yeah, it's like the greatest, to be honest. It's the great in Mandeville.
Be humble.
I'm just saying. It's the greatest high school in Mandeville. It's not me, Cecil. It's that Cecil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Period. So, you know, just tell the people why that was such a significant 7 years of your life and how do you remember it entirely?
Okay. Well, I was principal daughter to begin with, and that came with a lot of pressure, right? I remember in first form, Daddy would drop me to school, right? So we'd travel in the mornings to go to school. And when we got to the gate, you know, to enter the schoolyard,
Talk about it.
I would always bend down, like pretend like, you know, lacing up my shoes or something. But, you know, like I was doing that for a while because I never want nobody to see me. Like I didn't want people to know. That was, looking back, that was kind of because everybody saw me coming out to the car.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to be known as Miss Gabriel daughter because that came with a lot. Like, you know, make sure that you keep your grades up. Make sure that your uniform is 2 inches below the knee. Make sure that you're not wearing bright lip gloss. You know, I just had to do everything right. I had to be the role model. And I didn't prepare for that pressure. I didn't think about it when I decided to switch from Bishop to Manchester High. So I used to always pretend like I'm lacing up my shoes, you know, until one morning Daddy was like, what you doing? And I'm like, just lacing up my shoes. And he's like, your shoes don't have lace. And I was like, right. But, you know, so at first, it's fair to say that I was timid, you know, and I felt like a fish out of water. I didn't feel like I was prepared for this new journey as principal daughter. But a lot of my friends from primary school came to Manchester High as well, and that was part of the reason why I decided to switch from Bishop, you know, so I could have that kind of community. And so they really did help me to realize it's not that serious. Just relax, be myself, you know. I'd always been a good girl, so there was nothing that people could say against me to say. You know, I was letting down my father's reputation or anything. They kept me grounded, and they kept me focused on who I am and relaxed. You know, so joined the choir, and that became like a safe space for me. Um, I started playing netball. That was also a great way to relieve, you know, some of the pressure. I'm just a kid, okay? Just a kid. Played netball, really enjoyed it. Played for the school once, but still played for the school, and that was a good experience. And that was also where I started to come into to myself even more. Started to make more friends. Started to you want to call that dating? Started to talk to guys. You know, there was one guy in grade 6, but that never really
We
counts.
ain't ready for that yet.
But yeah, that's where I really started to explore and you know the whole puberty thing. You know, so that was a very interesting time in my life. Started to go out with friends after school. Some of the times my parents couldn't find me, therefore I call vice principal, have you seen Shara? Can I find her? Driving up and down in Mandeville Town, looking for me, but I was out.
You say it like it's light.
I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just trying to find who I
was not allowed to go to barbecue that time around. So it was kind of like, you know, grounded.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah, grounded for sure. But I wasn't bad. It's just that I wanted to, in a way, fit in. You know?
Be normal.
Be normal. Not be Mr. Gabriel's daughter. You know, not be the girl with the tie up here, so just be myself.
Yeah, in the sense that there are no expectations.
No expectations.
Yeah. So do you think like
talk to guys? That's what girls do, right?
Do you think that, you know, growing up with that silent pressure or that level of expectation has translated into your no adult life? Like,
oh my new
how does that show up now?
Oh wow. You know, I have to be mindful because it shows up in ways that I don't even realize. So the older I get, so we're going to skip past college.
We're going back.
Okay, we're going to go back. I have to be intentional about not putting too much pressure on myself. I have to see when I'm putting expectations on myself because of how I was socialized to be. And this is not to blame anybody, right? But it's just because of those 7 years at Manchester High. They really, really, they really, really caused me to feel like I had to be everything to everybody at all times. Like I couldn't make a mistake. Like if I make a mistake, then the place is going to burn down. That's how it felt, you know. And I had to set the standard, you know. Deputy head girl, head prefect, student council rep, form captain. What wasn't I really? What wasn't I? You know, I couldn't even choir president. Some of the things I even forget. I was in charge of CAF duty sometimes. Like I was just always put in a role of responsibility, you know, in those 7 years. And because of that, I always felt this pressure of responsibility, like anywhere I go, even when nobody was asking for it, because it was just always over my head. And so these days, I have to be intentional about realizing, okay, Shara, the world does not depend on you. Okay, all you have to do is trust God and do your best, and let people do their piece. Don't try to save the world. Right? Only God can save the world. So it's just a mindset, you know, because I have had to learn the hard way sometimes that you can't really control what happens and you're not responsible for everybody. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're not responsible for everybody.
Yeah.
That feels like a lesson in life in itself. But so we're going back to, you know, your latter parts of high school. Last 3 years, so that's fifth form to
the glory years.
And that's when a lot of your redirection took place in terms of your career.
Yeah, for sure.
And stuff like that. So, what did you want to be at the end of fifth
Easy,
form?
easy, easy, easy.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of fifth form, I wanted to cook food. At the end of fifth form, I wanted to be an executive sous chef
Mm-hmm.
in Jamaica. Right? Open my own place, as I said, a diner's palace,
Mm-hmm.
and just be great at cooking. That was my love, my passion, my everything. I would always research new, recipes and just try new things in the kitchen. It was my safe place. And I remember, because there came a point, because remember that when you reach to fourth form, you have to decide what you want to do, because then you're third form.
Which is way too early.
Way too early.
But we digress.
We move.
Yeah.
So I had to have a serious conversation with myself and decide, what subjects I'm going to do and why. So that's when I really had to ask myself what I love. And yes, there was the music, but I wouldn't want to do it as a career, And just to say, for the music, I enjoyed thoroughly my experience singing on the prestigious
Hey.
Manchester High School All Together Sing Champion Choir. Okay.
3-time champion.
List is not 4. Last year I made 4. No?
Well, 3 times gold. We got silver.
I think it's 4, but we can just fact check that. But we, like those are just glorious for me. My choir family is everything to me. We're not close like one time, but when we do link up, like this Christmas, it's just a whole vibe.
Mhm.
And some of my best days were spent in the music room. Yeah, at Manchester High. But anyway, so yeah, fourth form, I decided, okay, music was not going to be a career. I just want to have that on the side, like just for my own personal development and my own, enjoyment. But that's when I decided, I want to choose foods, I want to choose home ec, because along with preparing food, I also liked the idea of planning events and hosting and all of that. So that's when I started to get into the whole home economics, food and nutrition, all of that. And then there was always math. I love math. Like from morning, like who doesn't love math? Don't answer that. But yeah.
So she wanted to be an
executive sous chef.
Not a soup chef.
At Pastor Dinchi, that one was for you.
Oh my gosh. But
I got to send him this link.
when you got to sixth form, what changed?
What changed when I got to sixth form? My grades. I hope they didn't hear that.
Not the food grades for sure.
Not the food grades. The food grades are always up. In fact, I think I got awards for the foods thing in fifth form, but what happened in sixth form? Did something happen? I'm trying to remember.
So you were doing
I was going through something.
You were doing food and nutrition.
Yeah.
And then you were also doing math.
Yeah.
What were your subjects?
Okay. There was MOB. Why I have to be stretching my memory like it's a long time ago? Oh, sorry. That's management of business. I did principles of accounts. Oh, that gave me a run for my money.
No, you never did that in sixth form.
You said fifth form?
Sixth form.
Sixth form? Mm-hmm. All right. In sixth form, I did pure math, food and nutrition, management of business. What that name? Sociology?
You did that?
Social something like that with Mr. Ferron.
Oh, Carib
studies.
Carib studies.
Uh-huh. Communication studies, and there's one more. There's one more.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember. Oh, Spanish man. Yeah, why?
Spanish? With her no self.
Hey guys, at least I scraped you. Okay, we won't disclose the grade. But
you know that's great.
I got a 3. For me, that's a scrape through. Alright.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's like you were still holding on to foods, but then something was telling you that maybe you won't be able to pursue.
Maybe foods. Right. So I kept my options open because I started to think about it, and I think it was at the end of fifth form that I started to realize, all right, Shara, this is not a fairy tale thing, right? You say you want to do foods, but the market for foods in Jamaica isn't so probable. And if I really want to be successful and make good money, I'd have to go overseas. And I remember, why didn't I mention this? I remember that my parents, particularly my father, realized my undying passion and love for foods. And he got me registered to a university in the States without me knowing. And I know it was all out of love, And I just remember I went into his office one day after school. And he's like, hey, Shara, guess what? And I'm like, what? He's like, is 1 month, did he say 1 month or 2 months? It's 1 month or 2 months. Enough time for you to pack because I got you enrolled in a prestigious university overseas for food and nutrition.
I beg your
I
pardon.
beg your pardon. I mean, in the moment, I froze because I mean,
How much it was Mabe though? Wasn't the institute in Mabe?
was it Mobe? Why did it feel like foreign? You know
It
it.
was so sudden.
Yeah, it was sudden. It
Yeah.
might have been Mobe, but I just know say, like he was saying, nobody with the sixth form thing. You know, this is what you want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what you want to do. So just do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just yeah. But then in that moment, I realized, you know, I'm not sure.
You're
Like
not sure.
it just caught me off guard. But thank you, Dad. Like I really appreciate that. Like the fact that you went out. Right?
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But yeah, so that was always my passion, but I kept my options open. One of the time I was even considering for a brief moment doing like translating, you know, which is why I took up the Spanish. Why didn't I do French? I was always better at French. But translating for, you know, whatever little thing, maybe overseas, maybe here, you know, like for Parliament or something. You know, they always have the I don't know.
Yeah,
but my options were just I was trying to keep it open.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then management of business is always a good option. Because as I said, I also loved event planning, the idea of it, and then accounts, comes in handy with management of business. I kind of thought about it all. And then I love maths, so why not?
Right. So, when you went into upper sixth now, you were still doing pure mathematics. And that's when you started applying for universities.
Yeah.
And you decided to pursue what?
I decided in university,
Yeah.
apparently,
The first time.
the first time. Oh, wow. How did I forget that? Initially, I applied to do mathematics of finance. Wow, Shara. Wow. Wow. Bold move there. Because I just thought, hey, if I did accounts and I did math, then mathematics of finance, like, you know, why not?
Not gonna lie.
But
you know, you know.
Yeah. But then when we started to look at the course breakdown and, you know, what it entailed, it seemed a bit hefty. Like it didn't seem like what I really wanted to get into. So I remember, of course, we were praying about it and all. And mom just came to me randomly one day. And mom is like,
Hey, skip about something.
ask about something? Or?
Yeah. Because you actually did apply for mathematics with finance.
Yeah.
And then
I got through?
You didn't get through.
I didn't get through, right. I didn't get through.
And then, well, it's because of the pure maths grade.
Yeah, because my pure maths grade wasn't the best. I think I got a 4.
They wanted it.
Yeah, I got a 4.
Yeah.
In Unit 2.
Then mom's dream came in.
Yo, let me just pause here and say, mom is a dreamer. Okay? God has given her that gift. Because why mom going to come to me randomly one day and be like, have you ever considered studying economics? Now remember say I never do econ ever. Like ever in all of life. Not in faith form, not in safe form.
Yeah.
So obviously my answer was no. You know, but she said maybe you could apply for it. Just apply for it. And I think you'll manage, you know. And then daddy also encouraged me because that's what he studied. He studied the same thing as me, bro. Mathematics and economics. It's just that I did a double major and he did major and a minor, I think.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Okay. You see, these talks are good. You learn more about your family.
Right.
Yeah, so
how did the scholarship come in?
How did the scholarship come in? So mom works with Ministry of Education, so she knows more about scholarship offerings and so on than I would. And so we were looking for, because I always knew and I always prayed and I always asked God, please don't let my parents have to pay for my education, please. Because I know it's expensive and I don't want them to have that kind of burden, right? So I was looking for scholarship opportunities, and so was mom and dad. And she came across this one, MSc scholarship, for those who want to study mathematics, science and technology, education, and something else. And she was like, apply for this. You're good at math, right? So and the econ, you know, would be good with it. So apply for mathematics and economics, just like that.
Yeah.
Just said that, and I was like for a moment, I had to pause with myself because I'm like, this is not where I saw my life going. What's happening?
Mm.
I want to be a sous chef.
No, and stick up in because I remember the day like it was yesterday actually,
Yeah.
right here on this balcony
Mm.
when Cape results came out, and that was like the determining factor of whether you would get through for the program or not. So
Yeah.
when we saw
Wow.
the
You're
4,
dragging my memory, bro.
yeah, when we saw the,
The 4, when we saw the 4 for math, I thought to myself, there's no way. There's nowhere they're going to accept me for a mathematics degree with a 4 in Cape, pure maths.
Yeah.
So
she drew a chair on this
oh
very
my God,
balcony.
I remember that.
And she was
I crying?
You were crying.
How you remember that?
We all had to come out here and just encourage
oh
her.
My God.
Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, that was one.
I did not remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of, because in that moment it felt like my life was up in the air because I had the opportunity to go to the food school, and because I wasn't so certain that I wanted to do it out here, that I wanted to start that so soon, go to the college that Daddy signed me up for, I threw that out the window. All right. And now I'm trying something new, and here is this 4 in Cape math. So it just felt like what am I doing? I felt like I was floating. You get me? What is my next step? What am I going to do? Will I have to study foods and then live overseas, because the kind of life I want for myself, to study foods and practice that out here would not give me that. You get me? So like a million thoughts are rushing through my head.
And that's when God stepped in.
God stepped in.
And he turned everything around.
Listen, this is not, what should I say? This is not about links. This was literally the Lord. Do you hear me? And the more that my life unfolds and the more that things just happen is the more I know that I have a Father who watches over me and cares for me. And he makes ways in the wilderness. The Red Sea, with just one word and a rod, it can part. I never see how that Red Sea of just confusion in terms of my career would part. But God literally just stepped in, and I got the scholarship. I got the MSc scholarship to study mathematics and
scholarship.
Full. As in, I never pay for studies, and I did not pay for hall living. I did not pay for anything. All I had to pay for was the regular day to day, like a grocery and so. Yeah, man. And I was able to help others who I could, because of this blessing that I didn't even deserve. Like, why you chose me? Why me? But I'm just so grateful, and I'm so loved, and it pays to serve God. You're not serving him for the things, You don't serve him so that it's not a Santa Claus setting, right? But it's just that when you love him, when your ways please the Lord, he will make ways for you.
Amen.
I'm not saying I'm perfect, because there are many times I slipped up. Right? But God is gracious and loving and forgiving, and he values when you keep coming back and coming back and coming back. Just like the prodigal son, there is always room for you. Okay? And serve God with your whole heart, because he's no man's debtor. Him don't owe people. All right? And when he blesses big. I'll pause there. I see night coming down.
Nah, don't worry about all that. So what was college life like for you?
Well, I must say that my college life was beautiful. It was the first time in my adulthood life that I didn't feel as much pressure. Because for the first time, although there were people there from Manchester, oh, see Mr. Gabriel also there, hi Mr. Gabriel also. For the first time, I was just Shara. Like, people just knew me from scratch.
Different environment,
different people. It was just people being people, and I was free to just be myself with no strings attached. So I quickly became very involved. Enjoyed the grubbing experience. I was an ardent Irvingite. No apologies. Know thyself. Became a part of the choir, of course. I was even choir director for the prestigious Irving Hall choir for a year. I was also the culinary representative. Wow, who would have thought? So you see, everything still kind of found its way, I still found a way to make everything count. So culinary representative for my block, the Falconites. It was just a beautiful time. I was the dorm, what do you call it? The floor rep and all of that. So just getting to know girls and getting to bond with them, talk to them about life and have them encourage me and the eyebrows and make money off of that because girl always have was to make money from grade 6. It was just a beautiful experience. Being on my own away from home for the first time was just, for me, I know that for some it's hard, but for me it was just beautiful and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed my own company, if that makes sense. It was the first time really being by myself, and I enjoyed who I was. I enjoyed who I was becoming. There were days that, especially in first year, I didn't feel like I had anybody, right? Everybody gone to, the different classes and whatever. I living on the hall by myself. My friends went to different colleges and so, leaving high school. So it took a little bit of adjusting, but I'm extroverted-ish. So it wasn't hard for me to, really get out there and make friends. I became a part of the Irving Hall Trailblazers, Josh, yeah, and so on. So we ran, every morning and stuff like that. So I found ways to keep myself active and found things that I enjoyed doing and just continued to find myself. And it was just such a precious time. I started to attend the Escarment Road New Testament Church of God, which is where I kept my spiritual grounding. I made a very beautiful church family there. Ministered on the praise team and the choir. Same like, if I was home here. It was great. It was great. Love you, Auntie Angela. Yeah.
Yeah, they always say university is like, the most pivotal time in your life.
It really was. I'm not
Because
lying.
you make the most networks and,
Yeah.
well, it's like your first shot at adulthood.
Yeah. And that's where you really get to see who you really are.
Yeah. So what did that phase of life teach you about friendships?
Oh, friendships. Well, that phase of life taught me that some friendships are seasonal and some are meant to stay. And it's also taught me that some connections that you consider friendships are really just associations. So it's for us to know the difference and to decide, make that decision about who you really want around for the long run and, just build those, and not call everybody friend, but really sit and think about, who you share values with and who you can do this with for the long run.
So it was pretty easy for you to make friends. So did it bother you?
And make a boyfriend.
We're getting there. did it bother you when or if? No, better question. Did you lose any friends transitioning from high school to university?
What a great question. I thought I did because I was out of touch. Yes, I did. I think I did. Some people that I was really close with in high school, life just took us to different places. Some people went to the USA, some people went to different colleges in Kingston, and so we grew apart. But I have to say that my core friendships that I formed in high school, like coming from primary school, as I said, they're still solid. And to this day, it's God, because there was a period in college where we weren't really talking, and it wasn't so we were in any beef or anything, but life just took us along different paths, and so we kind of kept the communication kind of broke, but we found our way back to each other, and we're good now. But in the university time, a lot of them I didn't stay in touch with. Yeah.
Okay. So,
And that's how friendships can be.
the meat of the matter.
Yeah.
Boyfriends.
Boyfriend!
So you officially started dating when?
Officially? Because there were 1 and 2 guys in high school.
No, that's what I'm asking. Take us all the way back.
Oh, well, I don't think Dennis will care. There was Dennis in grade 6. And then there was Khalil in first
You
form.
can a little louder, please.
You said I shouldn't talk too loud, so let's not affect the mic. There was Khalil in first form. There were others.
Others. Okay. Thank
There
you.
are others in high school. Come on, you're just growing up, you just, talk to a guy, you just see what happens. You're just a kid, just a girl. I enjoyed those 2 relationships. It taught me some things. But the real dating thing started when I wasn't even looking. So I was at a Bible study. Well, a Bible study was being held on campus where the National Tertiary Students Ministry for, or denomination, New Testament Church of God.
Face to face.
Face-to-face meeting was being held at the chapel, the chaplain's office at UA. And I was running late, coming from class, so I arrived late. And upon my arrival to the Bible study, a tall, dark-skinned young man, I noticed that our eyes made for. And he immediately jumps up out of his seat in the middle of the Bible study. And he's like, oh my God, there are no chairs available. You can totally take my chair. Like, I'm fine standing. And I'm like,
What?
okay. So he gives me his chair and we're in the Bible study, but I noticed that throughout it, he's staring at me and I'm like, okay then. Bible study finishes and it's time to leave. He offers to walk me back to my hall. No, I was not looking for a man. I was not interested. I was at peace with who I was.
Content.
I was content in Christ and content in just my own space. Like, I really wasn't looking for nobody. Like, I don't want nobody can give me no problem. Just breathe me if you know, say, you know. But he was adamant and I was like, all right, fine. We're walking back to hall and he's like telling me about, you know, what he's studying. I tell him what I study. I say I study maths with economics. He's like, oh, bright girl. And I'm like, oh, bright boy, because he was studying accounting at the time. And we're about to part because we reached to Irving now. And he's like, so can I get your number? So I'm like, no.
Uh-oh. One thing about Shara, she's going to give you as it is.
It's just the truth. Because I never liked him
At the time.
at the time. Because the whole life changes. I didn't see anything in him. Like, and the hoodie was covering half of his face anyway. Right? So we parted and that was 2019. Just before COVID. When did COVID come? No, man. It
March.
wasn't March 2020. Yeah. But it was just before that massive earthquake, I remember, in March 2019. So that was February 2019.
Actually, that earthquake was in February 2020.
So it's too earthquake?
Do I remember good?
When did I start college? It's true, Mandy.
2019.
It's true, she's talking, guys. It's true. Sorry about that. So that was February 2020. And I forgot about him, lucky, because you don't have my number, I don't have yours. Like, that was a moment, and we move on with our lives. But then one of his friends reaches out to me. Her name is Kayla. Kayla is the reason we got together. God used Kayla. She texts me, I think that was like the summer of 2020, and she's like, hi Shara, Kejon is asking for not Kejon. Tavon is asking for your number. Relax.
Tongue-tied.
Tavon is asking for this other man. Tavon is asking for your number. So I'm like, how, when, who are you? And she's like, oh, well, I'm a friend, and he's just been going on and on about this girl that he likes, and he's just been trying to reach out to her, and she don't look interested or whatever. And I'm like, okay, Kayla, but you can tell him it's the same thing. Like, my mind hasn't changed. Like, I'm genuinely not interested. And she's like, all right, but you know, pray about it and think about it. And I'm like, okay, but don't give him my number. I don't know how she figured out that I guess by talking. I don't remember how I knew Kayla, but I knew her before. I think she was a friend of one of the girls that I lived with on hall. So she knew me like that.
Okay.
God just read that something. But later on that year, he randomly texts me. I think it was the Christmas. Hey Shara. So I'm like, who is this? Oh, it's Tavon. So I'm like, oh, so Kayla gave him the number. And so I confronted him. I was like, how you got my number? And this is what he said. I remember that you studied mathematics after our first conversation, leaving the Bible study. So I have a maths friend, and I asked him to add me to the group, the UA maths group. There are like 500 people in the UA math group. And he lets his friend add him to the math group so he can search for my number. Oof. So I'm searched through the 500 contacts to find my number. It was in that moment.
Find the one.
People, it was in that moment I was like, wow, this guy might actually be on something. So after he told me that, I was like, I decided in myself that okay, fine, let's give this a chance, right? Because you seem solid, right? And you're putting in the effort and so. So that's how we started talking and getting to know each other. We never get together or anything like that. We're just talking and talking and talking. Friends. Until like the February of 2021. Help me. That's correct? Yeah.
Remember?
February 2021. I can't forget it. When we went on our first date at Devon House. And Mandy came with me.
It was a
And
family affair.
it was a family affair, guys. And his older brother and younger sister came. And it was just a good day. It was a good vibe. Nerves and all because, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. Because I'd never been in a real relationship. And at the time, I just never wanted one. So the fact that it was actually happening was kind of surreal to me. But it was good. And then we went on our second date for my birthday at, is it Treehouse? Tea Tree. And that was wonderful. They gave me a nice little surprise. That was good. And we became official in the June of 2021. June 2021. And people...
Y'all were official long before that.
No.
Stop.
No, we weren't.
In the name of Jesus, stop.
We never call it anything. We're just talking, okay? Don't listen to her. But really, really, like, decided to say we are boyfriend and girlfriend in the June of 2021, and he gave me some of the happiest days of my life. Honestly, like, he carried me all about the place, and we have good, clean fun, and we go Mystic Mountain and so, and him fried chicken for me and so.
Hey. Sure.
He could cook.
You love a guy that can cook.
Yeah, if you can't cook, then what are you doing, really? No shade. There's still time to learn. But honestly, he loved me for real, and I loved him. I grew to love him, and I grew to see the wonderful man that he really was. He was wise beyond his years, and he was a gentleman, and he knew how to love a woman, and he gave me his full heart and his full attention and his full love, and I just we helped each other study on hall. We would have all night, all-nighters in the library, and we'd go buy Full House hot dog, what do you call it? Bad dog in the middle of the night. And it was just such a beautiful time. We would go by the pond at UA and just sit and chill when exams just take us. And, he met my family. Of course, before we made it official, he had to meet dad and get his permission. We're old school, okay? We bring it all the way back. Get his permission. That was before the first date. And, my family grew to love him. And I love his family. Like, the connection was there from the start. And, yeah, it was just a beautiful time with him. We were together for like a year and 2 months.
So the relationship blossomed beautifully, and we got the opportunity to meet this Tavon, and the family grew very fond of him. Yeah. Mommy especially.
Yeah, Mommy was Tavon's second girlfriend.
Yeah, no jokes about that. But
take over the video calling, man.
Relationship tip, and this is coming from Mommy. I'm not trying to be a counselor, but she said when your family can confirm the person you're with, especially if you're coming from a godly family, when they can confirm the person you're with, it's a green flag.
Yeah,
basically.
And then, I remember it was time for him to go on work and travel this summer. And so we were intentional about spending a lot of time together.
No, wait. you spent past a whole bunch of stuff right there. You reached 2022. We're not in 2022 yet. We're still in 2021.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
so the second day is for my 21st birthday. He planned a big surprise with my family. If you want to say anything here.
Yes. So we were having a surprise birthday party for her.
I had no idea, bro.
And we collaborated. Collabo with the Belgian family to make it happen. And the funniest part about that for me is when it was a Friday before, because I think your birthday fell on a Saturday.
It did.
Yeah. It was the Friday before, and we're on our way to Kingston. That's where it was going to be. And mom, Tavon called mom just to finalize because he's that person. He's a perfectionist. And he wants to make sure that
Everything is perfect for his
Yes.
girlfriend.
So I kid you not, they spoke from Mandeville straight to St. Catherine. And I had to be the one to say, Mom, I think you can wrap up the call now.
Yeah.
Because somebody's not going to drop it up. Not that he talks a lot, but he's the one to keep the conversation.
Yeah.
Or he's one to listen because mom is a talker.
Mhm.
And he's not going to tell her, he has to go.
Yeah.
So he's
But they had a beautiful
such a
relationship.
good listener.
Mhm.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Our families really
But-
loved each other.
Yeah. So we returned the favor to him in October because his birthday was the October that year as well.
Right.
So we threw him a little surprise as well.
Yeah, and he loved
then-
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then come 2022.
Right. So 2022, we're both trying to finish up school. I have the math course that's giving me a heck of a time. And he's, finishing up his accounting degree. And I remember we spent a lot of time together because he did tell me that he's planning to go on work and travel that year. So I knew that, for a good couple of months I wouldn't see him. So spent a lot of time. We cooked together for the final day that we were on hall. Went on a walk to the pond. And I just remember that evening feeling very off. Like there was like some heaviness in the atmosphere that I really can't explain. And he noticed and he was like asking me, what happened? And I just said I couldn't put my finger on it. But that something was off. I remember that we did a little video. And in that video, we were talking about, him going off. And I said he's going to go away and never come back. And I was like, even after I said this, I was saying to myself, but why would you even say something like that? And he said it. He was like, why you talk like that? What do you mean? Of course I'm coming back. And, the evening was just heavy and I couldn't put my finger on it. But we enjoyed our time together on hall. That dinner was great, lasagna and all. Spent a lot of time with him even after we moved off house. I went to look for him at his home. And, there was just this feeling that I cannot explain. Anyway, he is on the plane ready to leave and we were talking on a video call in the plane. And I was saying, be careful of what you drink, be careful of who you talk to. Just be careful because, the world is a wicked place. But I found it odd that I would be saying all that because I'm not the type of person to be all superstitious or, so worked up about, the evil that is around. But I just felt in that moment, be careful of what you drink, don't take drinks from people, don't talk to random people and stuff. And he left and went to work and travel. And we stayed in touch the whole time, just spoke a lot about when he comes back, what we're going to do. We're going to go on a hike, and I even was planning to buy the travel bag on Amazon with the plates and the cups and the this and the that for when he comes back. And we're going to go on the hike to Blue Mountains. He gave me great times, carrying me all about the place and stuff. And I remember the time was winding down for him to come back. And I think this was the last day, his last day at work. And it was getting a little late. Wasn't hearing from him. So I reached out to say, what's going on, because at a certain time every day he'd always call. So I reached out and he responded in a voice note to say that he's at a bar with some friends, with his brother Tavarish and some friends. They're just getting a drink to celebrate, something like that. And then they're going to stop by the river. Stop by the river. To me, that was so strange because neither him nor his brother Tavares can swim. So why are we stopping by the river? Anyway, I just said, well, be careful and let me know when you're home. I was disturbed. After talking to him, I was disturbed. So it's the next day. I got to sleep because I fell asleep waiting for him to reach back out to me. He didn't. Woke up the morning early, like in the 7 o'clock. I wake up to hear my sister on a call.
How it actually went.
Yeah, you tell it. I just remember people shaking and people being like, and people screaming on the other end of the phone. And I know it's his family.
Yeah. So I got a call from the younger sister very early in the morning. So that was the first thing that was like, this
Yeah.
can't be good. So she, because of how frantic she was, of course, she just said what she had to say. You know, they can't
They can't
find
find the
the
boys. Like,
boys. We're still hoping for the best, but the news is that Tavares is dead and they're looking for Tavon.
yeah,
I'm just passing that on to you. So
yeah. So by this time, we know Tavares is dead. But I just had all the hope in the world that Tavon was just somewhere keeping safe on some little island, waiting for somebody to discover him, find him.
so first of all, I'm saying, what am I hearing?
That
Because
day was
trust me,
August
worst day
15,
of my life
August
ever.
15, 2022.
That was
I don't wish that on my worst enemy.
it took a very long time to process, right? I would think I was frozen. And
Mandy
then
was literally. When you gave the phone to mom, this was you.
yeah, so
And I was like, well, why are we shaking?
and I'm here thinking like there's no way we can pass it on to Shara because, you know, what but we were still hopeful, so we prayed.
Together, yeah.
We prayed together and we're like, God intervene right now,
Mm-hmm.
please. And then about an hour later we got the news that, you know,
He's dead.
they found
They found
no.
his body. They found his body.
I actually remember that they didn't find the body until days after that. They were saying, well,
There
if
was
they were
hope.
together, then maybe he's well drowned as well, but they still couldn't find the body.
Mm-hmm.
So
So it was a
how
couple
was
days
that?
after. You mean in the search when they were searching for him?
No, how was the processing like after getting the news and stuff?
That he died? I couldn't wash my face in peace. I couldn't shower in peace. Mandy can tell you. Like I'd spend a very long time in the shower. Just crying and just, you know, envisioning them just struggling and in the water because the water on my face and my eyes closed just made me reflect on the whole thing. And I was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
So sad and so low. I was afraid to take a shower. I was afraid to wash my face. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to drown one of the times I did because, you know, that's the only way to be with him. You know, and I was just thinking, why not just go in the same way? For a moment, I just thought about that. You know, but I can say, although I can't really explain, in that time there was tremendous peace. I had so much peace. Like even though I felt it a lot in some moments, the overarching emotion was peace. I can't
Mm-hmm.
explain how, right? And just an assurance that everything was going to be okay. I had my family, like it knocked all of us, especially because my mommy just lost her boyfriend as well, right? So and my sister, like we all grew so close to him, and as far as we're concerned, my family, by now I would have been married to Tavon. You know, that was the level of the relationship. So it completely rocked our world. You know, it was hard for all of us. Um, yeah.
So when did you know in the along the healing process that you needed help?
Um, I didn't think I needed help until like the January. So August, September, October, November, December. Like I didn't want like every minute people were just checking on me. By the way, I want to say thanks to my friends, my family, my church
Mm-hmm.
family, and everybody that was there for me. But I didn't like feeling like a sick person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know? I didn't like the fact that, oh my gosh, how are you now? Oh, I'm so sorry for you. Oh, must be hard. I hated it. You know, I just wanted to feel okay and I wanted everybody to see me as okay. So I didn't know that I needed help until like January when around that time someone reached out to him. Thank you so much, David, for everything you've done and for how you were there for me. And thank you for mentioning Tavon, you know, at his graduation, although he couldn't have been there in November of the year that he died. You know, David was the valedictorian and he mentioned just had a moment of silence to acknowledge him and I really appreciated that. Um, but yeah, it was in the January that David recommended a counselor to me. And since then, I've been taking consistent counseling. And I'm just so grateful because it just provided a safe space for me to express everything I was feeling. And it was great because him don't know me, I don't know him. We can just be completely, I can just be honest about what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. and he really offered sound advice and still does. And I'm just so grateful for him, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the way God has used him to just keep me grounded. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is more like a personal question
Mm-hmm.
on our part, but do you think that we did all we could to support you during that time?
I think that you did the best you knew how. Honestly, I don't even know what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe just more, just less of remembering all of that and more maybe happy times, like going out somewhere. Maybe that would have been, but
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. You know, you did the best you knew how, and I just have to say thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah, but that year, that it was such a pivotal period, 2022 to 2023. Like the March of that year, I got a job.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I didn't expect it because remember, say I never finished study it. My course of study would have finished in the summer of that year, but God just provided for me just to remind me that He's there and He cares and He sees. Like even when it feels like everything is falling apart, there are just these little reminders of His blessings and His love for me all throughout, just in the people that were around me, in the opportunities, in the peace that I had. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
even in the people that He provided for me to stay with on hall. How could I forget Aliana? Like people were just there everywhere I looked. I was never
Mm-hmm.
alone, and I've never had to. I've never had need of emotional or physical support in that
Yeah.
time. Hmm. And I'm just so grateful for the provision of the job. Like I still have the job today, and it gets hard sometimes. But what isn't? Anything in life, you just have to decide you're hard
Mm-hmm.
and just trust God to carry you through. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful. And I graduated in the 2023 as well. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that was my year of restoration in a way. That's the word I used to describe it. That was my year of restoration.
Yeah.
Mhm.
God is God is
Mhm.
God. That's
Yeah.
first
I
and
didn't think I would make it, you
foremost.
know.
Yeah.
Hmm. I didn't. There are times I just be walking, and I just feel myself. I felt like I was walking dead. You know. I
Mm-hmm.
woke up one morning with my hair red. Who dyed my hair red? Me, but I don't remember doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicolay is a testimony as well. You know. I hope she's
That's
okay.
Tavares'
That's
brother.
Tavares' girlfriend. I hope she's okay with. You know,
Yes.
the two of us
The
are.
Belgian brothers will forever be there to us, and
Yeah.
I think more than anything else, they taught us how to live and live well, living for God. Because the truth is that none of us really know when,
Yeah. When the
you
truck
know,
come,
exactly. So,
mhm,
but they really did
teach us how to love.
leave an
Hmm.
awesome impact.
Yeah, the legacy. Even though they were so young, that's why I think legends, it has nothing to do with age. Legacy have nothing to do with that. It's your value system and how you choose to live your life. And just let
Mm-hmm.
that encourage you. And also
Mm-hmm.
let this encourage you that there are still good guys out there. You know, I never think such good men could exist until I met. Well, I knew, but I thought that maybe they run out or something. Because everywhere I look, no offense to right, just but you know, good solid Christian men that love in a healthy way and
Mm-hmm.
just you know serve God.
Oh, trust me, nothing was ordinary about those two
Nothing was
boys.
ordinary.
But what would you say to someone who probably had a similar experience or is going through the
Mm.
same thing right now, and
Yeah,
especially as it relates to, you know, find still trusting God in the midst of that chaos?
I would say it's not the end. I would say it's the courage to continue that counts. And this courage is not something that you can find by yourself within yourself.
Mm,
It's not by might or by power. Give everything to God. Just pour out to Him and tell Him, say, you can't manage. And ask Him to take control of your life. You have to come to a place where you realize you just can't do it. You just can't do it. We're humans. But it is He that has made us and not we ourselves. And to make it and to find the strength and the courage to continue, you have to just leave everything at the foot of the cross. It sounds cliche, but I promise it is the only answer. It's the only answer. And he will make a way. And don't give up on your dreams. Don't think that it's the end. Find supporting community. Don't push away those who love you the most. Even when it doesn't feel like they're doing the right thing, it's all love. And you know, try to get counseling. Try to find someone you can confide in. Pray about it and talk it out. Don't bottle it up because you'll only explode. When you shake a Pepsi bottle, what? Right? Talk it out.
That's so answer. But
yeah.
That's good.
Love you too, Mandy. Yeah. Oh, and one more thing I want to say is I just continue to trust in God and see what He's doing with my life. Some days are just bad. Like, even though I'm healing and I'm coming to a place, there are days when it's just like, what really happened? You know? Because sometimes it still feels so surreal. But God has just been providing new opportunities and opening new doors and just speaking to me in my quiet time and just reassuring me with songs, you know, and just His presence that I feel tangibly and I know He's with me, that everything is going to be okay and that He's going to provide for me when the time is right. And that it's okay. It's well, you know. It is the beauty of living for Christ. I'm not saying I'm perfect, right? But I'm saying that I continuously come back to Him and give Him all my concerns, all my cares, and He finds ways to reassure me through people, through dreams, through songs, through everything, through His provision that it's going to be okay. And I want to tell you that it's going to be okay.
For I know whatever befalls me, Jesus doeth all things well. For I know whatever befalls me, Jesus doeth all things well.
It's not a mistake. Nothing in the life of a Christian is a mistake. All of this is so that you could hear it, because somebody didn't need to hear this, and so that you know we can just encourage each other and be a blessing to each other. So at the end of the day, I can say I'm happy I went through it. I'm not happy he's gone.
You're happy you went through the grief warrior. You can see what the Lord has molded in you through it.
Yeah, like I've grown a lot, and my capacity to empathize with people has, you know, it's grown. It's expanded. So
yeah. So I'm gonna go off on a tangent and just ask a question everybody wants to know.
What question?
Are you open to love again? That laugh. I got the answer.
No. I am. I am. At first I wasn't, because I say, if it's not Tavon, then who will it be? I don't want nobody.
If it's not you.
Then boy, it's not me. But when Tavon just passed, I was like, I don't want nobody. Don't breeze me. Breeze. But the Lord has allowed my heart to be opened up to love again. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for what He's going to do and for how this story will unfold. What will I be? For now, it's Mrs. Dash, but I know it's coming.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just trust God. He's already started to show me that, you know, He cares and that He's going to work it out. So right now, I just sit back and watch what God is doing.
Amen. I love that. I just want to thank you for coming.
Oh.
Yeah, I really just want to thank you. And it might seem, you know, second nature because you're my sister, but it's not often that you find people that are willing to share. And I'm 100% sure that you have helped someone, you have encouraged someone, and your life is inspiring. So just keep doing you.
I try. Thank
God
you.
is not done writing your story.
Amen.
Listen, nothing is wasted.
No.
And that's the message we really want to leave with you, is that God is not done with you yet.
He's no man's better, people. You see when you serve Him?
Yeah.
Look at Job. I don't want to preach it, I really don't. Double for your trouble. Serve God through the hardship. It's going to blow. your mind.
Mm. Yep. Don't give up.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be alive to tell the story of how you overcome. It's His goodness and mercy and the power of the blood. Yeah.
I was just gonna let you sing it out and then walk away and then we just fade out.
You want me to?
Nah.
Okay.
But thank you for watching.
This was so awesome. I love you guys.
This is the first of many more to come. Just continue to pray for us, guys. You know,
and you keep
the
doing
Lord
what you're
will do
doing.
what He wants to do.
Yeah. You keep doing what you're doing. The Lord is using you as a blessing in this generation. We're not ask. And just continue to avail yourself. This is not about the numbers. It don't matter. It don't matter how much people watch this. Who needs to watch it will watch it. You understand? And who needs to find their way to your content will find their way. But you are a blessing, Amanda. You're a blessing. Okay? Never doubt that. This whole thing, this whole YouTube channel thing, like she's a whole star, guys. She's God's girl.
Thank
and I'm
you
so proud of her.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I
My little big
all.
sister.
Bye. Do the things like, comment, share, subscribe, share, especially with someone you know will appreciate this.
I hope the sound is on
will
this.
Be blessed. Will be blessed by this. We love you. See you in the next one. Heart to heart conversation
with Mandy.
The premiere.
She's so cute.
More to come.
Bye. Yay!